Christmas, with its magic story, of course, also has many traditions, things that have been built into the story and the way we observe the holidays. These things have come to us actually over centuries. And one of the customs that made Christmas very unique here in Pensacola began to develop in the mid-1840s. Now, by this time, we had a Navy Yard in Pensacola, and the Navy was sending a few, not a huge number, but a few young officers. In most instances, they had just completed their work at the Naval Academy. They were here in the 1840s. Christmas is coming, and these young men were lonely. They would love to have had family around them. Of course, that was impossible. So what the people in the town and the commanding officers at the Naval Yard itself began to put together a custom. What they would do was go into the community, into the social set of the community, and line up perhaps a dozen of the young, beautiful belles of the time within the community, and ask if they would be willing to go to a special Christmas ball at the Navy Yard. And of course, the young ladies were very excited about, many of them were anyway. They got their finery all set to go. But of course, this is now the 1840s. And of course, there had to be a whole corps of people to be sure that they were properly chaperoned as they went. And bear in mind now, the only way to get there was by water. So basically, the day before the ball, these young ladies and their chaperones would be taken by ship to the Navy Yard, where they would be introduced to the young men, and then of course provided with a place to stay there. And over the next 24 to 36 hours, several major events were held. So these young people, the young officers and the belles of the community, just had a wonderful time together. And you know, later on, some years beyond this, we began to give a nickname to our naval community out here. We began to say that Pensacola was the mother-in-law of the Navy, because there were many cases in which the young ladies from the community paired up with the young men, and they were married and became these became very wonderful whole households themselves. But the early Christmas balls here, as far as we can determine, this was one of the first really headline events that we had in Pensacola, dating, as I say, from the 1840s. And of course, this continued as a custom right up to the beginning of the war between the states. When that began, of course, the custom ended. And as far as I know, it was never repeated after the war.